Come on, come all. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Thank you very much, Keith. As always on these podcasting journeys, my stalwart, Nigel. Say hello, Nigel.
Hello, everyone.
And as you've already heard, because he's got a soundboard and he can't stop fiddling with it like his penis.
Yeah.
It's Keith.
Can I just say one thing? This week's thumbnail. Hang on. Oh, God damn it.
I see.
This week's thumbnail. That is an amazing thumbnail. I think that's our favourite one.
I'd just like to say, we can't see the thing here. I've replied to Chuck as Gaming Face Punch, which is our other channel. He says, I'm going to watch just because of the thumbnail. I'm just kidding. No, just sort of. And unfortunately, that just hasn't shown on our thing here because it was before we went live. So,
yes.
So I've replied to Chuck. Chuck, I'm Gaming Face Punch as well as Monkey Nut Punch.
Oh, Bailey's in here as well.
Hello, Bailey.
Hello, fella.
Right. Okay. So we've got some news. We've got lots of dismal Disney stuff. Lots of Disney stuff this week. It's not much. It's not much fun. So we're going to be a bit of a downer. Hopefully, we'll try and inject some levity into it. But yeah, lots of Disney news. We got some gaming stuff. We're going to look at some of the little bits from Super Nintendo World in Japan, which might be interesting. We're going to discuss Resident Alien, which myself and Nigel have seen. I'm not sure about Keith.
2.
You've seen 2? Same here. I've seen 2.
Well, 1. I nearly finished the second one. Sorry, I got caught up with something today. I was trying to watch it today, but I've watched mostly 2.
Okay, cool. And then when we get to the end, we've got a story which isn't about the woman putting Gorilla Glue in her hair, which I think you're expecting. We might go and look at the Gorilla Glue thing because there was some fallout from that, where some guy glued a cup to his face to make a point.
Yes, what a moron. But
glue's quite strong.
Anybody with a name like Tessica, not Jessica, Tessica, deserves glue in her hair.
Okay.
That is not her fault, though, is it? That's her parents' fault, giving her that name.
All right, let's move on to
unless she chose it.
I'm not going to say anything about eugenics.
On the next show, we might talk about stuff. Bit of a sad one. Again, this is part of the dismal Disney stories. A report from Deadline claims that Blue Sky Studios, responsible for Ice Age, being shut down. The shutdown's beginning in April. Closures expected to impact 450 employees, including former Walt Disney animator studio president Andrew Milston. Whilst Disney is moving to shut down Blue Sky Studios, the organization embraced identity politics, which we'll talk about later, and did things like removing Peter Pan from Disney Plus Kids accounts for deeming it inappropriate for children. On top of this, they've also relabeled some of their films and putting warnings and stuff inside them. Blue Sky Studios is responsible for Ice Age. Ice Age is worth about $3.2 billion, if I remember off the top of my head correctly. It's a lot of money. That's annoying because there's a lot of money. There's a lot of potential to make more money there. But Disney have, I don't know. It's weird because there's no talk of consolidation. There's no talk of, hey, all you 450 people, you have the option of moving over to these studios here, working with Pixar, working with the Disney animation studios, etc. It's just a straight cut. There may be more news to this story than expected, but it's very annoying with Disney considering that they are, how can I put it? Well, they're in trouble at the moment because most of the money they make through the parks, and they're all closed because of the COOF. Well, sorry, Disneyland's closed because of the COOF, and Disney World is limited capacity, shall we say. It's not good. Never good to hear anyone losing their jobs. Never good to hear studios are closing. Never good to hear that people who provide us with entertainment that we've enjoyed, even if it's sticking the kids in front of it to keep them busy while we're doing other things, is getting shut down. Now, I don't know what to think about this, because they're doing all these silly things which are costing them money. Yeah, there's lots of decisions out there which we will get to later, which are costing them money, and this kind of goes alongside this. So if they were a bit more sensible with their stuff, it's as Chuck has put, it's a sad day for Disney Blue Sky Studios. And it's funny because a chunk of the animators there did previously work for Disney. So, guys, do you watch Ice Age?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good film.
Yeah, it was one of those films one of those only films that could compete with Pixar stuff, which is frustrating.
It's Disney. I know thousands and thousands of people work for Disney, and I feel very sorry for them. But the people at the top of Disney right now, in some ways, deserve all that's coming to them. It's just a shame that other people are suffering to sort of let that happen. But I am not a fan of Disney management in the slightest. I think they are borderline incompetent in many places. And they've become too big. They should never have been allowed to purchase Fox, even though technically it benefits us as Marvel fans. But they've become too big, and now they're paying the cost, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's the people that work for them that are also paying it, and that's a shame, because a lot of those people probably haven't done anything wrong. A lot of those people are animators, not part of this woke stuff. A lot of these people that make these movies don't live or work in LA or California. I mean, Christ, there's probably people employed over in the UK. I certainly know that a lot of people that work on Marvel movies, special effects, come from places around London.
Yeah.
So it is a shame, but not a fan of Disney. So it's a difficult one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, completely understand you. They're they are burning through goodwill fast. This is something I wanted to say later, but I do like Disney. Yeah, I like Disney. I've got some good memories attached to Disney. I will show you an example of one of these good memories. This is one of my favorite memories of all time. Nigel,
Keith can't see it.
Keith can't see
yes,
it.
I've seen it.
You've
too
seen
many
the picture
times
before, but
it's a brilliant picture.
Me and I, when we our families went to Disney together as a collective, we had our picture taken outside Star Tours, and we had a whale of a time having that picture taken. We were pissing ourselves laughing. The guy was pissing himself laughing. The people walking down the stairs were pissing themselves laughing. Everybody was laughing. One of my fondest memories of all times, and it's from Disney. And it kind of makes me a bit kind of sick that this is happening, because it shouldn't be happening. Disney should do like kind of wholesome stuff, shall we say?
When I say I'm not a fan of Disney, I'm a fan of the brand. I still love to go to Disney World. I'm still hoping that one day I can take my wife to Disneyland, and I'm talking about the one in America. Doing it properly. I mean, even though I know that it doesn't really support the proper Star Wars, I'm still intrigued to go and see that Star Wars Land. I'm intrigued to see that ride because of what it represents purely from an engineering and technical perspective. I'm curious to see it. And
I was going to say, you need to see I was going to say, if you want to look something from engineering technical perspective, you need to look at the ones at Universal, the Harry Potter rides at Universal.
Right, yeah, I want to do the theme parks. I'm not a fan of Disney management, which is not the same thing. I love the Pixar movies. I love a lot of the old school Disney movies and new Disney movies. I'm just not a fan of Disney management because I think they have lost the freaking plot.
Yeah,
and I actually think that some of this is not entirely beer bug related. If you know what I mean. I don't think all of this is.
I think what it is that may have accelerated certain plans, shall we say.
I think some of this is backlash, which will. I mean, we've got a few stories, as you said, that we're going to get onto in a minute that cover this. But I just feel that the likes of Bob Iger and people like that need to quit. They need to go. Him and Kathleen Kennedy should have resigned after Rise of Skywalker. They should have resigned after Last Jedi, but that movie made millions, so they had an excuse. Whereas Rise of the Skywalker was the most, it was the weakest of performing of them, with the exception of Solo.
We've got tons of things to say about Disney. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask Nigel quickly how he feels about this, because it's people losing their jobs. A particularly difficult time. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I know there's a needs must situation going on. They're not bringing in any money. They can't release anything. Unfortunately, something like this is going to happen. It's such a shame they had to shut a whole studio down because of it. Could they not have taken a look closer to home in terms of the directorship and whether or not they're actually needed before giving the normal people in the company?
Do you know what I would put in there as Disney investors, that you're not allowed to pay bonuses out unless you make an overall profit.
Yeah, because
these people getting $11 million bonuses and they've achieved fuck all. We wouldn't get away with that. Our bosses wouldn't let us have that. So that's maybe something to look at. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which again is Disney related.
You're listening to the Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
I forgot to dial that down. Anywho,
every week.
I know, that's like 4 weeks. And on another note, Predator 5. I love my Predator. I love my Aliens. The last one, The Predator, was terrible. Predators was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. So they've released, people have released a plot synopsis of the story. Unfortunately, I put the wrong article up because this one doesn't have the plot synopsis. I do know what the plot synopsis is, so you'll have to bear with me. So what it is it's set in the past. You've got the Indian nations before the British turned up, and you've got a girl in there who bucks all the trends. She's a strong, diverse female character. Sound familiar? She's probably got one half of her head shaved, I imagine. She bucks the trends, and the Predator attacks their tribe, and she goes off and fights them. And there's rumors of a female Predator in it. I don't know if that's true, but when I heard it was like kind of a strong, diverse female character, it's like, oh god, no, not again. It does make me kind of weep a little for kind of storytelling. Ironically, this was in the works on Fox before they before they were acquired by Disney. But given the type of story they're trying to tell, you can see why they kept it across. So it's I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why haven't got like The Rock going against the Predator? That would be the most appropriate thing. If you wanted something to happen, The Rock, even Liam Neeson against the Predator would be a good watch. But we're going to get a strong female character, which we haven't seen. And the worst thing is she's not going to be a strong female character. She's going to be a male character, just happens to be a woman with a few things thrown in for good measure. So you could replace her with a male character and it'd probably work out better. Because apparently she'll be able to take on a 400-pound, 7.5 foot monstrous alien that can become invisible, has a plasma caster.
Well, if it's what's her face from Game of Thrones, I could see her doing that because she's probably bigger than the Predator put together. So if it's what was her, Brianna of I could see her. Yeah, she'd kick the shit out of the Predator.
that would work, but you'd have to have a lot of other people around her to die as the story goes on. But there's some good. There's a really good Predator story that they haven't covered. Is one where a Predator's back in time and comes across a pirate, and he fights with this pirate. Yeah, and they wind up teaming up against another load of pirates, if I remember correctly. And as a trophy, instead of taking his skull, the pirate gives him his gun, which is the gun that he hands to Danny Glover in Predator 2. That would have been more interesting. Think I probably would have enjoyed that more. This sounds like it's going to be lots of suspension of disbelief, shall we say? Unless she's built like a brick shit house, there might be a chance that it's the reason she pretends to associates more with man is she's like this. Yeah, and if that's the case, then yeah, good. But if she's got fucking spindly, noodly arms, yeah, considering that Arnold Schwarzenegger was packing them, Danny Glover clearly in the second film, felt really outclassed. Adrian Brody was it Adrian Brody? Yeah, it was Adrian Brody in Predators. Everyone's like a bit with him in that, but still a bit more believable. You can't have spindly, noodly arms unless she spends the entire film feeling outclassed and outdone by, and then she does clever things to try and catch the predator out. Yeah, this is another Disney one because Disney own Fox, and they look like they're going to probably wind up pushing this one through. So I'm going to go to Nige. What do you think about Noodle Arms versus the Predator?
Well, there's two ways you can take on the Predator. There's the Arnie way, which is brute strength, and then that's my Arnie impression, and then there's the cunning route, isn't there? Trying to maybe do something to trap him and a bit more intelligent way. I would imagine they're going to go the intelligent route rather than brute strength route in order to defeat this thing. If they're going female led, but then if they go with Brienne, the actress from
she doesn't remember. This is supposed to be played by someone who looks like a Native American. If I'm allowed to say
it's not her then.
So it's not good. So the chances it's going to be Brianna Tarth or any woman that we know that's like Ronda Rousey. No. If it was Ronda Rousey versus a Predator, she probably said she could better take it on without having some kind of issue.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey. Yeah, she'll do it. I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit to see if a plot comes out and see what actually is going on there, because on the face of it, it doesn't seem too exciting. But I have missed the last few films. I saw AVP, but Predator 1, Predator 2, many moons ago. Many moons.
Yeah.
So it's not really something I'm properly into, but yeah, as long as it's action, lots of action, I'd like to watch it.
Yeah, I can. I don't think it is going to be, because, as I said, if it's set in the past, I would have. I would have gone and had Predator versus the fucking Colonial Marines from Aliens. That would have worked out better. They could have had some planet. There's a massive conflict in Colonial Marines. Colonial Marines have turned up the same days the fucking Predators turned up. And the Predator's picking people off. He's got there like a couple of hours before him. He's picking them off left, right, and center, and they're stringing dead bodies up. Colonial Marines are like, okay, we need to come up with a plan, and it's that kind of thing. And then one of them sticks out. It could be a lady because they've got more sophisticated weapons, so there's a chance they could take them out with that. We don't know, but that doesn't sound good.
I'm sorry, but I think Baxter's got this spot on. Cover yourself in mud and get to the Winchester and wait for this whole thing to blow over.
God, we're going to be paralytic by the time it does, Baxter.
That's the synopsis of the latest Predator film.
Yeah.
So get to the inn.
Keith,
I'm fed up of this bullshit, to be honest with you. I just, it's getting a bit tiresome.
What strong female character?
Yeah, well, it's not that. Look, don't get me wrong. I actually quite like strong female characters, but it's all the reasons they're doing it. And when they actually write the characters, they're not strong female characters. They're just, the bestest, greatest ever all the time. There's no freaking. They're two-dimensional. It's all about looking and pandering to a small amount of fucking people, and they're still banging on. Even now, this week, you've got more and more of these bloody idiot actors coming out going, I think there should be a female James Bond. I think and they don't believe it. They know it won't work. They know what they're spouting is bullshit. It is pandering, and I am fed up of this bullshit fake pandering. It just annoys me. I think it'd be a great idea to have a female Bond. Ugh. No, the whole point of James Bond is he's a male fucking fantasy. The minute you remove that male fantasy, it isn't James Bond. It isn't a thing. And it's the same with this. Predator was a movie with Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger in it. Excuse me, I'm swearing a lot and I shouldn't do. But it was a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Muscles from, big muscles, everything. Manly movie. That's what it was about. Yeah. Oh, we need to feminize everything that's male. We need to wipe out everything that's male.
You almost said muscles from Brussels. No,
you did say
no. I nearly did, but you know what I mean. I walk into a supermarket these days, right? And I had to buy something for Lem in the makeup section. There's more makeup in there for men than there is women. What is wrong with the world? They've got dye liner. Fucking lipstick for men. It's like,
you live in
Jesus
Thailand,
Christ.
as you said.
Yeah, yes, but this is what's wrong with the world. The world is being demasculated and it's emasculated, and it's wrong.
The thing about the Predator films is that first one, dude, you could have died from testosterone poisoning. There was so much testosterone. Oh, yeah. Everybody was jacked. There is a mixture of steroids, testosterone, and protein powder drove that film. And you hear this. There's a story behind the scene where when they were filming Predator, what they would do, is they would try to outman each other in the gym. So Arnie did the sensible thing. He worked out away from everyone, but everyone else who was sharing this gym, they were trying to get in there early to make it look like they'd work out for longer. So they turn up at they start us off and they're turning up at 6 o'clock in the morning, then it turns to 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then sometimes they just stay late from the filming and turn up just to try and make out they've been there all day. But that's a fun thing, and everybody remembers the bit in Predator where they clasp arms, and you've got Carl Weathers, and Carl Weathers he's massive in that film. There's a bit where Carl Weathers fighting the Predator, and he gets killed. And every time I watch it, I think maybe this time he might win because I want him to win. I really want him to win. He had a good redemption arc, He came around. He was an asshole to begin with. He set him up, and then all of a sudden he's on side with him because there's a bigger threat than regards, needs that to happen. Can you pull that off with bows and arrows? I don't think it. I don't think it'll work. But then again, if she's against a lady Predator, maybe that might be the thing. But I think it sounds terrible. When I first saw the headline, I was like, yes. And then I read the description and I went, no. And I went, look, anything that's getting redone these days, I don't want redone. Just leave it alone. If they turn around and said they're redoing Farscape, I'd say, please don't. Stargate, don't. Babylon 5, don't touch it. Aliens, Terminator, leave them be. They are fine in that place in history where they are.
This whole thing bothers you too more than it does me. I just want a good story. As long as it's a good story, good action.
But that's the problem. It's because what they've done is because they've put these kind of the bits into the story. They have restricted what they can tell. I noticed this in The Flash the other day. I heard some rules going around that in storytelling now, you can't have the following. You can't have a man teach a woman. You can't have a man beat a woman in anything, and you can't have a man hit a woman. I watched the last episode of The Flash, because it was on my Skybox. I thought, oh, fuck it, I'm eating dinner, I'll watch it before Nigel calls me. So I started watching it. There's a bit where there's 3 female bad guys, 1 female good guy, and a load of blokes. The Ralph Dibny character, the elongated man, did not land a hit on any one of those women. He closest he got was pushing one away. Lots of blocking, not a single punch. It drove me wild. The Flash, because he was fighting a female version of Mirror Master, couldn't hit her, even though he's the fastest fucking man alive. Doesn't matter if he's using Speed Force or injected Speed Force or whatever. He should still be able to take her out, but they can't let you see that now. So the bad guy won in the end. That's not storytelling. That's not hero storytelling. Fuck off. Right? That's terrible. Anyhow, something that isn't Disney related on our next story before I start getting angry because I'm saving my anger for one bit, or I'm saving my anger for one bit. Hi, we've also got a Facebook page. Why don't you pop over there and give us a like? You can also watch the live streams on there. Thanks. Right, don't you, matey blokey? Zack Schneider has teased the new trailer for the Justice League for HBO Max, and it's still a curiosity for me. I'm not like kind of, oh, I'm so hyped to have this Snyder to cut. I like the idea that the studio is listening to the customers. I like the idea that a director is finally get to finishing off something he started and didn't get around to doing it. And especially hearing all the Joss Whedon stories this week, especially like Charisma Carpenter and all the cast. This is kind of piquing my interest quite a lot. So we've got the Justice League cut, and it's like kind of the showing off kind of what's his mush? I say Galactus. It's not Galactus. He's Darkseid. Sorry. And what we can see here is you can't see. I don't know how well you can see this. Let's zoom in a bit. All right, so now I can't remember his bloody name. Darkseid has like a henchman who does all his torturing. We've got him on that side there. And then you've got a character here, which I've been told reliably, this is a character called Granny Goodness. Yeah, I made it up. That character actually exists, but she's in it. So it looks like they have extended the story quite a lot. Apparently, what's his mush? Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf has some big old fights in this, which is interesting. I'm just going to see if I can bring up Mr. Schneider's tweet. Which is interesting. I still want to figure out how to watch this in the UK. I'm kind of okay with the idea that it's, oh crikey, it's what do you call it? It's not being split up into a movie. I'm fine with that. But here, let's have a look at the trailer because it's like, can we see it? Yes, you should be able to see it. So in 2 days we'll get a proper trailer. So we've got all this stuff here. And there you go. You got the heart, a third, shall we say, of it. The special effects look a lot tidier just from that tiny wee clip. That tiny wee clip, and we're going to look at it in more detail next week. The special effects look a lot tidier. Everything looks a lot neater. Everything looks a lot better. But that's because they had more time to do it and they weren't rushing it out. I think that it's going to be interesting to watch. I think it's going to be good. Is it going to be that kind of Marvel Infinity War good? I don't think so, but it's still going to be an interesting watch. So, Keith, you know more about DC than Nigel. So.
I've seen a couple of clips to it. There's a lot more of Superman in the dark, the black suit, which is pretty cool. Yes. But it's still the Zack Snyder Justice League movie. Okay. I suspect it's going to be a bit like Batman versus Superman in the fact that it's going to be a more coherent movie. It's going to make more sense. Is it going to be any better? No. The issue is that he has. The thing that bothers me about, everybody criticizes Superman because, and I know why people don't like Superman because he's almost godlike, but what he never did in the comic books was act like a god. And in this film, that the Justice League scene where he is hovering over everybody, benevolent with the sun shining behind me, it still bugs me. It still bugs me because that is not Superman. And that's the thing that I think fundamentally is the issue here, is they are not the characters they're meant to be. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is pretty good. I like Affleck as Batman, but the Batman depicted in this, the way it's written, isn't Batman. But I think had Affleck been given a decent script, I think he could have done a really good job as Batman, because I really liked his Bruce Wayne. His Bruce Wayne was interesting. I don't like the actor that plays the Flash, but the Flash was probably more likable on screen in this. I have to say, even though all of his crap right now, I prefer him to bloody the guy that's playing him, the actor that's playing him in the series, because I think the actor that's playing him in the series is a cowardly little asshole, considering how quickly he came out and shot his co-star in the back who played the elongated man. So I don't know, Gareth. I don't know. I'm intrigued. Yeah. I'm intrigued. I think I'm going to get it here because we don't have HBO Max, but we still have HBO Go, and I subscribed to it recently. I had to create a bloody Thai app store on my phone because they won't let you do online things. You have to do it through one of the stores. But I've got HBO Go here, and it's awesome because I've got loads of stuff on there. I've got all the stuff that's recently coming out in America, so hopefully we might get it on here. So we got The Flight Attendant, which was that Kaylee Cuoco. Sorry, hang on. Kaylee Cuoco. Sorry. But I hopefully I'll get to see it. Hopefully, well, I will get to see it. Let's face it, we know I'm going to get to see it one way or another, even if I have to put on my peg leg and eye patch and Polly Parrot sail the seven seas. I will see it, but I wouldn't go as far to say I'm excited about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not excited about it, but I am. It's like something I'm looking forward to it when I'm reminded of it when it comes out. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. There'll be something there. I want to see the changes. It's going to be grimmer, darker, grittier. It's always the word gritty. It's going to be gritty, which means there's lots of dirt thrown at the camera.
Yeah,
but it's going to be an interesting watch when it comes out because we can then compare against the Justice League that did come out and see if it's any good. Nige, I know you're having a bit of internet issues at the moment, mate. Are you excited for the Justice League, or is it just something on there to watch when I get around to it?
It's just something to watch. If and when I can be bothered. Don't mean to sound harsh, but I can't even remember if I've seen the first one that's been remade. I don't think I was even bothered by that. Most DC films I'm not bothered by because they just don't have that same pull or draw as the Marvel films. I think, yeah, I'll see what happens when it comes out and whether or not it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. And before we start, I'm just going to play this. Warning. Me and Keith are about to go off on one. You have been warned. Right, okay. So...
oh, God.
Right, okay, this comes in 3 parts. So we're going to go through the 3 parts and then we're going to talk about this. So, Gina Carano, who's like the fan favorite in The Mandalorian, because I'll be honest with you, we can't see Pedro Pascal's face, and he could be anyone, and we wouldn't really give a shit. I'll be honest with you, we've probably seen more of the stuntman in the costume than himself. Gina Carano was dropped from Star Wars after controversial media post. I'd just like to point out that the media post that she posted was not controversial, not in the slightest. Actually, I think it called for unity from all parties. That's how I perceived it. I perceived it as something kind of...
But yeah, you're right. Okay. I think the reaction to it was ridiculous. But she did post something about Nazis and Hitler, and really, even though she should be able to post something like that, even though if you read it and interpret it, you should be able to see what she was getting at. You don't do it in 2020. It was stupid.
Hang on a second. Right, so let's get this right. Half of America is comparing other half of America to Nazis from World War One. Yeah?
I know.
Okay. But when someone from the other side does it, all of a sudden, no, it's terrible, it's bad, it's horrible.
I agree with you.
Okay. Even though it's not the case. Right.
But what did she think? In fairness, how did you think they were going to react? I mean, this is the problem. You should be able to post something like that. Okay, all right. So she. Oh, I've got to find the bloody post now. So I've got to. Oh, I should have prepped this better. But what she posted was the fact that that the government turned people on each other to the point that they were beating certain groups of people during Second World War before they even thought about carting them off to places for people with ADHD. All right, if you get that one. All right. So, given that, Pedro Pascal, other star of The Mandalorian, directly, one was calling. Hello. He's crashed. He's crashed. He's so angry.
I've broke the internet. My son is streaming something. I'm going to kill him after this is over.
He seems to be doing this every Sunday. He goes, "Oh, Sunday, 4:00 is a great time to stream."
Yeah. So. So
Quick, send a text to the missus to get him off the internet.
I will in a second. So. So if one is unacceptable, see, this is nothing. It's nothing to do with what was said. It has nothing to do with what was said, because that is what Pedro Pascal said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is direct. Okay. There's no two ways about it. That's direct. It's this uneven application that pisses me off.
Oh, I agree with you.
We can go back to James Gunn's a great example. Yeah. When James Gunn had the problem with his tweets, my biggest problem was, for Christ's sake, check this. Make sure it's not a fucking case of a Jimmy Savile. That was my big thing with James Gunn. Yeah, James Gunn was rehired, which is fine. But Roseanne Barr makes some comment towards some politician, and to be honest with you, I don't care. I'd say politicians are there to have stuff said at them. Yeah, she was fired and kept fired. Oh, hang on a second. Her political leanings were on the wrong side, apparently, where James Gunn's were on the correct side. Same with Pedro Pascal in this case too. This is why I played the warning. It just winds me right up. I'll be honest with you, because it's not fair. And I just realised I'm sharing my screen where I shouldn't be. It's not fair, and it's uneven application. But then again, I didn't really like The Mandalorian. I always described it as spectacularly average. I now have a reason not to watch it. So yeah, they did.
Look, I mean, this is exactly what she posted. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply by being Jews. Now, how is this any different from hating someone for their political views? Right. It's a sensible post, and she has a point. You can't post that in today's climate.
Yes, you can.
In Hollywood.
No,
Gareth, you can't.
Yes, you can.
You can't. No, I'm not saying you don't listen to what I'm saying.
No,
I'm not
hang on a
criticizing for the post.
Hang on a second.
Before you go off on one.
No, right. I need to explain myself while Keith's on mute, okay? It's all about political leanings. If Pedro Pascal can do one thing, she should be able to do the other thing. I bet you if Pedro Pascal put up the same thing, there wouldn't have been an issue.
Listen to what I'm saying before you go off on one. Listen. I agree that you should be able to post that. I don't think there is anything wrong with it, okay? But you can't post that in 2020 with all these fucking morons who are immediately going to jump on. People are already gunning for Gina Carano because she stood up to these idiots, right?
Sorry,
she stood up to these people.
Keith, what look at the screen.
Gareth, I agree with you. Listen to what I'm saying. I agree with you. I am angry about this. I agree with you. But I am saying that it was not wise to post it because, unfortunately, these morons exist. But it doesn't mean I don't agree with you. There's nothing wrong with the post. It's correct. It's right. And we should be saying this kind of thing because that is exactly what is going on. But we're not allowed to post that in this day and age when people are gunning for you. People are gunning for her, and she put a post out there that was going to antagonize them. And she knew what was going to happen. Disney pandered to these fucking morons, whether we like it or not. You've lit your own touch paper. I'm sympathetic, but I still think, even as much as she should have wanted to say it, and she should be able to say it, in the climate that she works, she can't. And it makes me really angry. It makes me as angry as you that she can't say something like that, which is sensible. She's not a Nazi supporter. She's saying something that is factually correct. But you can't say that with these morons.
What gets me is it goes both ways.
I agree.
Yeah? Because conservatives in the States look down on liberals, and liberals in the state, look down on thingy. either way. Yeah, it's a sensible thing to say. Don't demonize and turn your neighbors into others and monsters and stuff when they're not. Have civil discourse. Okay. But
what she was actually doing was warning people, but they will see this. She mentioned the words Nazis and Jews, and that's all you have to do in this day and age.
Yeah, but
it's disgusting.
This is the thing that got me.
Cancel culture.
This is the thing that got me. Yeah, the posts. Yeah, all the posts from all the outlets. This is the bit that really grated on me. All lied. Yeah, this is why I have trouble accepting shit from the media. I have to find fucking raw footage of stuff if I want to know what went on somewhere. Yeah, that's what I have to do now because they lie constantly. It's got beyond a joke. We don't have news sources anymore. Yeah, there was to quote another German. Yeah, repeat a lie long enough. Yeah, and people will believe it. But what we're doing now is we are repeating and changing the lie ever so slightly. Yeah, and they just keep on doing it, and it's infuriating because I can't find a decent source of news anywhere. When I go through these news articles and stuff, I try to pick from as diverse a bloody field as I can, but trying to find decent, honest information is difficult. Okay,
you're correct. I mean, I got into an argument with somebody this week because I don't know if it's made the news in the UK or America, but the BBC World Service has been kicked out of China. Now, the BBC were reporting facts. We know what they were reporting on what's going on in the regions. I'm not going to go into it. We all know what's going on with the Muslim camps, right? And the BBC were reporting that. It's factual. It's been backed up by government and things like that. The Chinese chucked them out. And there's been this uproar because people are banging on about how, the BBC are not biased, blah, blah. The BBC are not biased. The BBC are not, but the BBC got shown to be colluding with Antifa and fucking Tifa, right? They are biased. In this particular case, they might not be, but they are fucking biased. Let's not get. All news agencies are not impartial anymore. There is no such thing, right? There are some that are more impartial than others, but everybody's got an agenda these days, far more than it has been at any time. I think Gina Carano will be back because the backlash of being...
I haven't finished off the story. This was just the first part. Okay, because the next part, which drove up even more, all right, was the fact that her Hollywood talent agency then dropped her like a fucking hot stone. Yeah, they didn't bother to check. They didn't suspend her. They didn't do this, that, and the other. They just went, right now, you're gone. We don't want your politics in there. The thing is, I reckon that a lot of people who work in the movie industry, I'm talking about the actual people who do the work, who put the sets up, who fucking sort the electrics out and stuff. I reckon a lot of them have a certain leaning, yeah, and it's not being pushed.
She is conservative at leaning politics, which is nothing wrong with. I mean, I don't agree with all of her politics. I'm not a conservative, as we know, but she has conservative leaning politics in an increasingly liberal, woke society that is happening in California, and she's been pushing the buttons. They've been waiting for an excuse, and unfortunately, whether we like this or not, she kind of gave them one that is deemed socially acceptable, even though it shouldn't be, and even though that they are fuel. No, Gareth. This is what I'm saying.
No,
it's deemed as socially. I think you're going again because you think you're trying to argue with me. I agree with you.
No, because what you sound like you're doing, whether you mean to or not, it sounds like you're defending it. Yeah, it is indefensible.
No, I'm not defending it.
Yeah,
I'm not defending it. But I'm saying that it wasn't. Look, right. I live in a country which has a lot of politics going on. There's lots of, let's say, certain things that would appear to be borderline corrupt, if not entirely corrupt. One of them is actually directly affecting me because it's to do with the vaccines. I have to use all self-control, even though I pay taxes here and all that, not to comment on it, because the minute I do, my visa might not get renewed. So all I am saying is that as much, and it bugs me because I should be able to say something because it's blatantly fucking corrupt, but I can't say it, right? I can't comment online. I can't say the things that I really want to say because it is way it is. Is that right? No, it's not. Do I think Gina Carano, I think she was unwise to post that because she gave them the fuel that they needed to cancel her. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right because it isn't. And it makes me mad because you should be able to say something like that. It really made me angry the other day because I looked at it, I thought she'd posted, because I heard people saying that she'd compared herself to the Jews, and she hadn't. If you actually read what she wrote a very intelligent piece of thing. But the trouble is, most of these people in Hollywood that are going after haven't got a bloody brain cell to rub together. But she gave them the fuel. And she's an intelligent woman. She knew this was going to happen.
Okay, all right. So,
but I'll give it to Gina Carano. She hasn't played the victim. She hasn't played the victim.
She hasn't.
And I have a huge amount of respect for how graceful she has been in all of this. Because if it was me, I would have been out there freaking shouting and going off on Keith rages on everyone. Yeah. I'm not defending them. I hate these people. I hate this cancel culture. But I think that you have to be responsible for your own actions. And unfortunately, whether we like this or not, she said something. No, that we knew.
Second, that's the bit I have the problem with. Yeah, she can say it. That's it. Yeah, in the States,
that's the problem.
No, she can. Yes, she has, and she's done it. So no, she can't. She's done it. All right.
No, you're again.
No,
it's the language I'm using.
No,
because you think I'm defending these people. I'm not. The reality of this situation is, if you say something like that, there is going to be consequences, whether we like it or not, in 2020. Because we can't stop these people as much as I want to.
There's consequences for everything. If I sit down too sharply, there's a consequence to that. But there shouldn't be that consequence for that.
I agree.
That's it.
I agree.
No, this, that, and the other. Do you know the funny thing is in America they have the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and all that stuff here. Yeah. In the UK, we didn't really get freedom of speech until 1988, I think, when we put a thing through. Do you know why we didn't have freedom of speech? Because we didn't need to put a fucking law in place. We have.
But there are.
Hang on a second. We have what we call English common law, right? If it's not deemed illegal, it is fine. That and Americans run on a similar kind of thing with common law. It's not deemed illegal, therefore it's fine. Okay, may not like it, but it's fine. Okay, stop trying to defend them, Keith.
I'm not defending them, Gareth. I am.
Anyway, there is a slightly happy thing for this story because Keith's sitting there going off. He's so into it because she may have been fired from the thingy, but for anti-Semitic comments, so we say. But Ben Shapiro, who runs a thing called the Daily Wire, has picked her up in order to do a film via his thing, which I picked Pink News because I like trying to vary my sources in regards to this information, which is a good thing. So she's going to get to make her own movie. So we are going to see her again. Hopefully it'll be a success. Hopefully this is a divergence from Hollywood and this orthodoxy, and it is an orthodoxy, and it is annoying. So there is a silver lining to this cloud. You can talk now, Keith.
I'm not defending them. And that's what bugs me. I'm not defending these people. I hate them with all my passion and thing. I think she'll be back at Disney because I think they're going to do a James Gunn.
Nope.
Because the backlash.
She ain't coming back.
Well, James Gunn came back for far worse.
She ain't coming back. No. James Gunn is on their right side, not on the other. But let's just leave you with this lovely image. Because that's what a strong female character looks like.
Who is it?
That's Gina Carano.
Gina Carano.
Doesn't look anything like her in Mandalorian.
It's because she's beefed up.
That's what she looks like in thingy. But I needed to put something in there to calm us down. I'm actually glad I put in the Keith and I are about to go off on one because it was appropriate. And on that note, Nige, this will be more up your street. Woo! So we've got gaming. Cyberpunk, the game that keeps on giving in the wrong ways. They were the victim of a massive cyber attack in which people got onto their servers, they downloaded a chunk of data, they encrypted their servers, and then they threatened them with blackmail. The note that they wrote wasn't, how can I put it? Let's see if we can get it up here so we can read it properly. The note that they put up wasn't quite written well. Let's see if I can bring this up here.
The way the note was written, it looked like a 5-year-old had written it.
I imagine it was probably from a non-English speaker. Yeah.
What was that? It's not that crew, not those.
It's no, they've gone.
What were they called? Were they the Lizard Crew? Or something? I can't remember.
The Lizard Crew and Lulsec was the other one too.
Lizard Squad, that was it.
We have dumped full copies of your source code from your performance server for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We've also dumped all your documents related to your accounting administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. We've also encrypted all of your servers, but we understand that you'll most likely be able to recover from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source code will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent into our contacts in games journalism. There's one for a good laugh there. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company really functions. Investors will lose trust in your company. Your stocks will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us.
You've missed off the bit that I find the most childish.
Oh,
you have been epically pwned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, that is from the 1990s.
15-year-olds, isn't it?
That word in there, it's the first.
I would say early 2000s.
But as soon as you say you've been epically pwned, that is someone who hasn't left school yet writing that. And if they have a mentality of a 5-year-old.
Okay, so, right. My biggest problem is I want them to fix Cyberpunk 2077 so I can play it. I'm refused to buy it until it's fixed.
I reckon this is a massive ploy by CD Projekt Red to buy him some time in order to fix said problems.
I don't think it is.
You cynic, you cynic.
I don't think it is, and the reason I don't think it is because you didn't read the second story. Because the second story looks like the code was sold for $7 million online.
By them, I bet.
By them. I think that.
They've just made some money back from the game. There's the refunds.
There's a thing called Hamlin's razor where it's don't put up to malice, but can be just put down to incompetence. And given the way Cyberpunk came out and the management of the security and everything, I think it just looks like blatant incompetence. But it says that $1 million auction for the hacked Cyber 2077 and Witcher Source 3 code has reportedly come to a close. The source code files for The Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, and Gwent have apparently already successfully been auctioned off to an unknown party, according to well-known data security VX Underground. That's a quick turnaround after the initial hack hitting the news sources 2 days ago, which prompted the leak, which promised to leak and sell the data within 24 hours. CD Projekt Red did not come to an agreement with the hackers. Now, the rumor is it went for $7 million because they put I have no idea where you'd find this online. Yeah, I've not gone. There's not like eBay for hacked stuff. Yeah, there might be. There might be on the dark web somewhere. Maybe it's a bit of an eBay I've not been to, but there isn't that. Apparently, they had a buy it now for $7 million. $7 million for a buy it now for this source code. I'll be honest with you. Why the fuck would you want that source code? I was hoping. This is what I was really hoping, that they would leak the source code online, so that the devs in the homebrew community would fix it. If they released it online, I imagine within 90 days that game would be patched to a really playable state. They would have probably gone in there and fixed all their problems just by having the source code. If it had gone out public, that would have probably been the best outcome from. But some sneaky bastards, maybe EA. Why would it? Because EA love and eBay or Ubisoft, game companies that are notorious for shit coding.
I have to say,
I thought it.
Cyberpunk is turning out to be far worse than No Man's Sky, because at least you could play No Man's Sky when it first came out. You couldn't do much, it was boring, but you could play it. Cyberpunk, you can't even fucking play it.
Yeah. It's frustrating because I'm a firm belief that when they release an Xbox Series X/X PS5 version of it, this game will be fixed by then. Yeah, which will probably be September now. I thought it'd be like July or something like that, but it'll probably be September now, and that's when it'll come out in a fixed state because they've got more hardware to play around with and more time to fix what's gone wrong. What they should have done is they should have just turned around and gone, guys, console's a mess. PC owners, there you go, enjoy. That would have been a sensible thing to do. I'm sure they did that with the first Witcher game that it was released originally on PC and then ported over to.
I mean, if you're going to have a failure of a game, now is the time to do it because nobody can play it anyway because you can't get the damn graphics cards for love nor money. It's only a few players that have actually got PCs capable of playing this at the moment. Chuck's one of them. He's got the size of this graphics card. He showed me the other day. It's bigger than my old case.
Yeah, and it's
huge.
Power. It has to have its own power source, probably about 60 watts just for the card alone.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
He plugs it straight into the mains down the road.
Running off from the lamppost so it doesn't get charged.
Well, I know he's got a generator. I'm beginning to understand why he's got one now. It's just to run that bloody graphics card.
Every other house down the street has got dimmed lights because it can't draw enough power.
It's like
just because Chuck's graphics card is
power. God damn it! Stop decoding 4K video, Chuck.
Oh dear. Just a quick one. So yeah, that's an RTX 380.
Yeah, it's an RTX. They are awesome cards. They really are.
Do you know what they need? The clip from Star Wars, with the unlimited power, just for Chuck. We just need that.
Yeah. We 1.21
or 1.21 gigawatts. For Doc Brown. Yeah.
So coming back to wrap up the Cyberpunk part of it, they're not having much luck. They maybe should have learned from No Man's Sky. Just keep quiet. Just keep quiet while all this stuff's going on. Anyway,
you might want to mute me for the next one.
Hi, this is Nigel, and I'm talking in my lovely narrator's voice. Bask in its loveliness. But don't bask for too long. We need your help. Come to YouTube and watch our videos for the love of God. Well, send Keith round to your next barbecue and he'll eat all your food. Toasty! You have been warned.
Yes, toasty. Right, so this one's a great one. The shortage of PS5 and Xbox consoles drives a call for scalping to be criminalized. I would like to think that, but the problem with this is, how can I put it? Parliament and government move at a glacial pace. So by the time they sort this out, it will be ready just in time for the next generation of consoles, which will probably be the last generation of consoles. Douglas Chapman, MP, has brought a private member's bill forward in the House of Commons to criminalise games console scalping. I imagine he's probably got a kid and they ain't happy. And he said, Dad, can you do something about it? You're in the government. You can do something about that. The practice of scalping is completely legal, but Douglas Chapman MP is amongst members of Parliament calling for it to be criminalised, describing it as profiteering to Sky News. It seems to me to be a total scam. And this is where we get back to English common law. And if it's not illegal,
before I go off on one, I do have to say, isn't that the idea behind capitalism? And don't we live in a capitalistic state? As I hate these scalpers, but these scalpers exist because there are idiots out there willing to pay £1,000 for a PS5 and willing to buy it. The issue, and I'm just going to bug me because Gareth is going to say something, is that the retailers have got to stop them buying them. It's up to the retailers to stop this scalping. Right. It's up to the retailers and the manufacturers to work together to stop this.
It's the bots that are scooping them up that I've got a problem with. Yeah, if a single person on their own is going in there trying to buy all this stuff, and they are successful to buy 5 PlayStation 5s, for example, yeah, and they've done the work themselves, not using a botnet. Yeah, I'll give it to them. Yeah, but using a botnet to just chew them all up like that before anyone else can do it. If they're not standing in line, it's a British thing. It's queue jumping. That's what it really is. That's what we don't like about it. They are jumping ahead in the queue, and we don't like it.
And God damn it, you're not allowed to jump the queue.
Yeah. British, we've got an issue with that. Yes, it's not because Thais do it a lot, and it really bugs the shit out of me. It's very British for me to get the ump about it.
Yeah. Not letting Thai, but I've been in China when that happens.
Yes, yeah, always it's Asia in general. But look, these bots are not that sophisticated. The retailers should be stopping this. It's like, okay, on the initial launch, fine. You've had a few months since the initial launch to get these under a thing. Your websites are still falling over. Your websites are still, falling under over the thing. You've got to do something about it. And if not, then the retailer, then Sony should do it direct. And get their own servers up and running. One way or another, it's down to the retailers. It should not be a law to stop scalpers, because you're effectively criminalizing capitalism, because that's what they're doing. I mean, as much as I don't like them, if it's supply and demand, the demand is out there. It's up to the retailers to stop them getting it.
No, the reason why the supply is so shit is because the scalpers are taking it before it even gets to the shelves, and normies can't buy them.
Yes,
if they've got, but Nigel's right. Nigel's right. Hang on a second, Keith. Yeah, I know they're buying them, Keith, but Nigel's right. Yeah, if this comes back to that queue jumping aspect of it too. Yeah, if they were doing it along with the rest of us, this wouldn't be a thing. They have a machine that is grabbing these things like that. Yes. That's where the problem is. If you remove that, and they have to do the same routine that everyone else does, it makes everything a little fairer. I think it's the tools that should be banned.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Imagine,
that's fair point.
You can say supply and demand, right? There were some, Babster's mentioned it, but I mentioned it in a previous podcast way back when we were first trying to get the things. There were people going around shops, local shops in a local area, every single supermarket, and buying up all the toilet paper when this whole beer bug thing started. Then they were selling those toilet papers off because there was no stock, because they've taken it. They'd taken all the stock of the toilet papers, and then they were selling it to local people at double or triple the price. Now, that's scalping. They've taken the entire stock of a local area and sold it on for profit. That should be illegal. You yourself have created the shortage, and then you're saying, oh, I've got stock, but you've created it. So you've artificially created the shortage and then sold it on. That should be illegal. That is that's not commercial. That's
profiteering cuts.
Profiteering.
Yeah.
And surely that is exactly what PS5 and Xbox scalping is doing. They're creating the shortage. They're buying up the stock, so normal people can't buy them, and then they're selling to you for double the price. That's not normal people just.
But how are they buying them? How are they getting to the stock?
They're using bots to buy them.
They're
using bots.
But surely most of these retailers are now operating queue systems, aren't they? I mean, I know that games
are jumping the queue.
They're closed, Keith. All the shops in the UK are
closed. They're operating an online queue system that you go into a queue, just like we had when the Xbox.
Yeah, and then they've got bots in these
and
queues.
they jump the queue.
But then they've jumping. Like 1,000 of them enter the queue right at the beginning.
But they're all using separate email addresses and things, and that's how they're getting around the one per customer.
That's probably what they're doing. They've probably got. I think that there is groups online that you can join up to, and I think they use your email address if you sign up to it, and they say that to get your PS5 or Xbox. The thing is that I feel sorry for Microsoft, because the PS5 is the one that everyone's going after. Yeah, and it's annoying because the Xbox, my S is a lovely little console. I like
my X. I like my Series X.
I love having a little game on it in the evening. It's quite nice.
But it's no PS5.
No, there is.
The PS5 is significantly better There's no two ways around it. The controller's better. Everything about it is better.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I wanted the Xbox to be better, but Microsoft insisted on releasing the exact same controller that looks cheap, and they still can't be asked to put chargeable batteries in it.
And on that note, a word's too much for you? Then you should follow us on Instagram. We put pretty pictures out. Thanks. My wife loves that one.
Really?
She's like,
I love that
I heard it
image.
the other day, and she was like, I didn't know what you were recording upstairs until I heard it on the podcast. And I was like, yes. Okay, so UK Channel 4 is planning to reboot the Games Master TV show. It's a shame because Patrick Moore, the Games Master, is no longer with us. I'm hoping they'll do it. There's lots of potential bits for advertising and whatnot. It aired between 1992 and 1998. It was hosted by a guy called Dominic something. Dominic Diamond, that was his name.
Diamond.
Dominic Diamond. In the second season, it was done by a guy called Dexter Fletcher, who ironically now is a big director. But Dominic Diamond, it's funny because Dominic Diamond had a lot of humor that when I was younger, I didn't get. And when I've come back to rewatch it, I went, ooh. There was the waggling the joystick one that we all got, but there were other little kind of jabs in there, and he was quite funny. But the downside it was aimed, but as a kid, didn't notice it when they were playing Super Mario 3 when he's making rude comments. Dominic Diamond, I'm hoping might come back to redo it. I don't know how old he is now. I imagine he might look like, I don't know, Father Christmas probably, but should bring it back. I think it'll be good. I think we need some entertainment, and I don't think you get very political with Games Master. Unless they replace Patrick Moore with a woman. I think they should replace him with Brian Cox. And she then goes, you should play Super Mario Brothers 3. It's amazing.
Right, okay. I used to watch Games Master quite a lot. It was Channel 4, wasn't it? And
Yes, of course you did, Nige.
I used to
of course you did.
Anyway. I used to nip around my mate's house and watch it there. We used to go, I wonder how we can get on the show. This will be amazing. You know, it was great. The little challenges there, and then there was little tidbits on how to beat certain aspects of harder games and how trickier games. It was great TV show. And if you think about it, there wasn't really very much on TV for people who liked gaming back then.
There was the only other alternative was Games World on Sky,
which back in the day, I only had 4 channels. I didn't have Sky. So
4 channels,
for me,
internet was in black and white.
Yeah, can you imagine that? Dial up and everything. And so now, if you think about it now, gaming has become less of a nerdy thing, whereas back then it was very stigma driven, wasn't it? Very stigma attached to you if you liked a game. And so that's why there was only one channel. Now, gaming's everywhere. Everyone seems to be doing it on their mobile, whatever, right? And so they could relaunch it. Channel 4, even on the TV Channel 4, it might actually get me watching a program on Channel 4 again.
On live TV.
On live TV. And yeah, they're going to do it on, hopefully, they'll do it at least on YouTube, which I'm sure that would get a massive audience if people understand what it's all about.
If they did it on Channel 4 and YouTube at the same time, that would be ace.
Yeah, live. There's such a thing now on YouTube called live premieres. So they release it, and I don't quite know how it works, but you can get a certain amount. You say it's going to be a premiere, and it will probably do a notification to people subscribing saying it's going to be released at this time. Bang, watch it. You can do it right. Yeah. Do it absolutely right. There's a program on TV with Dara O'Brien called 8-Bit something, Go 8-Bit. And although he presents it, you've got this lady who I can't remember her name, does the introductions for the games and stuff like that, little challenges, what they're going to do with the challenges, and they get celebrities in to play the games alongside a professional games player.
I've not seen daylight. I'm a professional games player.
Yeah,
Carpal tunnel.
daylight's gone. And that's a nice little program, and I've done a few series of that. And actually, if she was the person as the games, because they can't have. Oh, I'll have to let me get.
If this comes back and he suddenly shaves his beard, puts a baseball cap on, and turns up, Games Master, can you tell me how to get past the level 42 on Super Mario Brothers 2? I keep getting pwned.
Yeah. I think
I can see him doing it. He'll get away with it if he shaves the beard off.
Games Master, I'm not with the latest version of Dark Ages of Camelot out, and they'll be like, no, get away from me.
Guys, Michael, we know you.
The worst thing is you've been talking about it on a bloody YouTube channel, so I keep getting alerts where you've been chatting to someone about Dark Ages of Camelot.
Good.
Remove his ability to chat.
I'm going to. This is it. Dara Brian's Go 8-Bit. You got Dara Brian, who is the main host, but then she's the person who will be telling you about all the challenges and stuff. And I can't remember her name unless it says here. I don't know. Ellie Gibson. There you go. Ellie Gibson. So I wouldn't mind her being the Games Master, because that's essentially what she's doing in Go 8-Bit.
Brian Cox. It's got to be Brian Cox. It goes, you've got to complete this and it'll be amazing. Because remember, what's his mush? Patrick Moore was big into astronomy, so I think you need someone from like the science kind of thing. And I think Brian Cox being just as amazing, he could be like the hippie Games Master. Anywho, just a quick one. So, sorry, Nigel, I'll let you carry on, and then
no, I was going to go to this.
So yeah, right. And apparently there was something wrong with Dave Perry. It happened during the Me Too allegations. I don't know exactly what. But we might not be seeing him again, even though he carries a certain name. And then it's like rumors. Patrick Stewart. I'm surprised. Patrick Stewart's an animated corpse at this point in time. All right, he just come back. If he does do Games Master, he'll just apologize. That's all it'll be. It'll just be him apologizing for every game that was ever made. I apologize. I'm so sorry that I've done this. And then it's like, yes, Nige, but all games channels now exist on YouTube and Twitch. As I said, this is coming back to the thing, or I think if they do it on Channel 4, they should live stream it on Twitch and YouTube all at the same time. So that
Premiere it.
Can do that. Oh, and hang on, and Facebook Gaming. Is anyone using Facebook Gaming?
Yeah, no? Premiere it on.
No, live. The moment it's on Channel 4, you show it exactly the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's scheduled on Channel 4 at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, and then on YouTube and Twitch it is 8 p.m. on the same day.
Yeah,
have it exactly the same time, and you'll grow it, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a massive thing. He made the Solid Snake joke on one of his stand-ups. Snake. Games Master went back in the day because we didn't have the internet-only magazine. But you forget something, Babster. There is the nostalgia factor. Lots of gamers are, how can I put it politely, this is including you, our age. Yeah, people who are into these sort of games are our age. And that will probably bring them, and they will probably get their kids, because you'll sit down watching Games Master with me. Why? Because I'm too old to watch it on my own. I need a child with me.
You sit there and go, I've watched this as I was a kid. They've remade it. It was quality back then. You're watching these stupid idiots screaming their head off and you find it fun. Let's watch something good. I watch Dara Brian's Go 8-Bit with my kids, and they love it. And this Games Master, if they do it right, could well be another one I could watch with my kids.
Okay. Yeah. I think we'll leave it there and move on. Enjoying the podcast so far? Why don't you give us a like on YouTube? Thanks. It's one of Nigel's stories. This is a expose from the Super Nintendo world in Japan. I went back to going back to the things I actually like Disney, and this is one thing that Universal have got. Their theming for certain things is much better than what Disney's got.
Oh yeah, and
it looks like they've done it here with Super Nintendo World. I haven't got too many screenshots from this article. It's pretty freaking blank. I'll be honest with you.
There was a video. Whether or not those links there will take you to the individual bits. I saw this going during the week, it popped up for some reason on my YouTube recommendations, and I thought, do you know what? I'm quite interested to see because we've spoken in the past about Nintendo World, and I was wondering if it was finished, and
well, it's not finished.
It is.
It's not finished in Florida, and I think
No.
they're going to start building at one point during this year. There are 3 rides. You have Mario Kart Cuppa Challenge. This is the headlining attraction of Super Nintendo World. Features a detailed queue with augmented reality, a dedicated gift shop, etc. Apparently, the game it's you pay an AR Mario Kart. I have no idea what that looks like. I need to have a look at that. Yoshi's Adventure, a much smaller, simpler attraction. Yoshi's Adventure, page right out of a classic dark ride using animated figures and small vignettes as it takes your family around and through Super Nintendo World. Then we've got Bowser's Jr. Shadow Showdown. I managed to get that right without tripping over my own tongue. Accessible to those who purchase a power band and completely interactive challenges where the boss pits you against other park goers against Bowser Jr. in a virtual experience where you have to duck, jump, and swat your way to victory. The Mario Kart one is probably the one that I'm probably most interested in when it comes to this.
So, the guy who went for it, I can't remember his name. There was a YouTube video that I sent, and basically he takes you through the theming of the queue to get to the theming is immaculate.
Yes.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
it really drags you back to your childhood. The ride itself, you sit in a cart, 4 people, I believe, and you all get VR goggles, and apparently you use that to look at the direction where you want to shoot shells and stuff like that. And I don't think you have to do like you do in some of the theme parks we've gone to, like Ninjago.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So Ninjago ride over in Windsor, Legoland, you have to go and shoot. This one, I don't know if it's quite similar, but you pick up the shells, you shoot the shells, you come across Bowser, and then you sometimes get hit, and you do the spinny thing all the way around. So that's it's decent.
Hang on a second. That reminds me of that bit in the Men in Black ride in Universal. Do you remember the Men in Black ride where you get the chance to shoot the other vehicle? And if you shoot the other vehicle, it causes them to spin around out of control for a bit.
There are 2 people going along on their tracks on the way around. And the other one, the Cooper Land thing, it's like it's a small world that we went on.
Oh, the Yoshi one's that one.
The Yoshi one, sorry, you just go very, very slowly round at a higher level. You could look over the park a little bit, and you've got all the theming around you. And I'm not sure of the last one, really. Bowser Showdown, I'm really not sure. I saw something where you have to jump up and you shoot, and it's all AR. You're going like that, shooting your fireballs, and you have to jump to grow big, get your 1-up, jump again to get the flower to shoot. It's all that. So it's interactive, and do you know what? I think it's good for people of all ages, really. And there was also a you get these machines where you tap the light as a blink up. But you've got this like keyboard thing on the wall, and the lights will blink up. You run over, tap it, and you don't tap the side. You go like you would, like Mario would. And once you tapped them in the sequence, it will start playing the tune from Mario that is associated with.
Okay.
So nice little touches like that.
Well, it sounds entertaining, and hopefully they'll have something in Universal when I go back there next. I'm going to have to move on swiftly because I didn't realize the time. I think it was something to me and Keith going off on one, but time to do a bit of reviews. So we've been watching Resident Alien, which is showing on Sky One, I think. It's quite good. I watched the first episode. It reminds me of Marvin the Martian from the Warner Brother cartoons. Yeah, where he's always trying to destroy Earth, but Bugs Bunny keeps stopping him. Because he seems to end it with it goes, and then I will kill them all, which I kind of enjoy. I'll be honest with you. Alan Tudyk is great as I
Yes.
can't remember what the alien's name is actually. Thinking about it, I just think of him as the alien.
The alien.
Him and the kid, where he's having those thoughts in the second episode of how to beat to kill the kid. It's the thing with the gas, because it cuts to my wife's watching it and she's going, something's not quite right there. It goes, oh look, oh the gas. Can you smell something? Yeah, I can smell something. I'm going to spark up a cigar, and he sparks up the cigar. House explodes and the shoe drops outside. And then he has the other one about the piano. The piano hits a kid, and then the shoe drops in front of him. I love those little touches. They always made me laugh. It's nice, light entertainment to watch. Nothing too heavy. Really enjoyable. Funny in places where they've got all these things going on. And I think we all know how the series is going to end. Yeah, the season's going to end with the fact that no, he's not going to blow up the Earth, or something horrendous is going to happen. He's not going to be able to. But I find the great thing about it is there's a mystery that we keep overlooking because we're too busy focusing on the fact that he's an alien. Someone killed the Doctor. I think there's another alien in town that killed the Doctor to flush him out.
You could be right.
He killed the Doctor. They showed him do it.
No, there's another Doctor. There's the Doctor who got poisoned.
Oh, that one.
The Doctor, that one. Because I was going to say, no,
I forgot about.
I
forgot about the other Doctor. No, yeah, because he was poisoned, wasn't he? And he figured out that he was trying to give himself a tracheotomy or something to cut open his windpipe so he could breathe and bypass whatever was there. That was it. They don't explore that in the third episode anymore.
I think this is going to be a twist to that.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very good. It's a very good program, and it's funny as well.
Yeah,
and that's what I needed. I needed something funny.
Yes,
it's ever so slightly dark, though. It's darker than I was expecting. It's a bit more sinister than I was expecting. I mean, he kills the guy that he takes the body from, which I wasn't quite expecting. And there is a sinister edge to it. I would say it's borderline dark comedy. There are some laugh out loud funny moments, but he was trying to murder the kid, which is my kind of humor, but it is dark. Yes. There's serious things in there. His assistant is getting beaten by her husband, so it deals with that. It's dealing with some stuff. It wasn't from the trailer. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I like it.
You forgot the darkest bit in the entire thing. The bit that made me go, "Oh my god!" The bit with the cow. There are some very funny jokes in it. It has made me laugh more than once. I totally agree that I love Alan Tudyk in this. He's fantastic in this role. Genuinely love him in this. It's a good series. I'm going to be continuing with it. So far, it's passing we haven't got to 4 episodes yet, but so far it's keeping me hooked. Yes, it's making me want to watch it too. So we're going to move on to WandaVision, I'm afraid. Enjoying the podcast so far? Why don't you give us a like on YouTube? Thanks. All right, WandaVision. Not much more than what we've seen already. Just kind of alludes to a few things. First things first is the Quicksilver character that they've imported from the X-Men universe. He seems to be aware of what's going on, and he's calling it out. And there's questions whether that he's been brought in there by some other person, i.e. Doctor Strange, or even Charles Xavier, which would have been quite interesting. So we've got that aspect of it. Vision tried breaking out and he started decaying rapidly, which forced her to increase the space. Agatha Harkness looks like she may understand what's going on, but have no control on the thing. And oh my spammy goodness! Sorry, I've just seen we're being spammed left, right, and center, by the same message. But yeah, it's not as good as it was last week because we had some decent revelations. I think Monica Rambeau is going to get powers.
They pretty much confirmed that this week when they said, you can't go back in. Your makeup has been completely altered. So yeah, I think you're completely bang on the money on that one.
Yeah, maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's mutant powers.
So I think that's where they're going.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going too. There is someone behind it. Don't think it's Agatha Harkness. I think Agatha Harkness has powers, but she kind of kept them to herself. So I think that there is another force there, but we're not seeing. It would be interesting if it's Dormammu. They keep talking about Mephisto being like a devil character that you've got inside the MCU. That would be interesting. Then there's what's his face, Mojo from the Mojoverse with his Mojo TV show, which it could be too. Very outside chance on that one, but it's interesting. There's some bits in it that are making me go. Kat Dennings' character, I'm just no. There's some pictures of her where she just looks as gormless as fuck. I took the piss out of Kristen Ritter for having small nasal cavities and having to breathe through her mouth like a human sex doll. What's a she's going to get similar things for just being an unlikable scumbag. Nigel, are we still being spammed?
I don't actually. I can't tell. There's so many. This is Twitch, by the way, not YouTube.
Yeah.
Can we not block this kind of thing on the Twitch comments?
You guys carry on. I'm trying to. I'm logged into Twitch, and I'm going to see if I can do something.
The one thing I noticed towards the end was that the Quicksilver character was being slightly sinister, and that's why she sort of turned on him and blasted him. I loved the Kick-Ass reference, bearing in mind that both of them were in the Kick-Ass movie. So the actor that played him beforehand was Kick-Ass, and the actor that's playing him in this is was his mate.
Yeah.
They're saying, it wasn't a reference to Kick-Ass. It blatantly was. I don't think it's anything more than a nod to Kick-Ass, although it is Millarworld, which is indirectly connected to Marvel, so they could be playing with that universe. But I think it was more of just a tongue-in-cheek nod that both actors have been in Kick-Ass. Although, Wanda did turn around and purposefully look at the screen and go, Kick-Ass, and I was just like, that could be something. Not a lot happened in this episode, really, other than, Vision realizes that he can't exist outside of her bubble. She again confirmed that she didn't know how it all started, which indicates that somebody else is manipulating her. The kids are mutants, and I think this is the launch of mutants in this universe. They are saying that Spider-Man 3 and what's his face are directly connected to the events of WandaVision. So they've come out and said there's only going to be one Spider-Man in the Spider-Man movie. I think that's bullshit. I think they are doing the Spider-Verse, although there are persistent rumors about Spider-Man turning up in WandaVision, but that could be because Kevin Feige said it's connected. So who knows? I think we're going to get a Luke Skywalker moment in this. It's just who it's going to be. Is it going to be Professor X? Is it going to be who's it going to be? But I have to say, significantly more interesting. I know which series they're parodying next week. I actually recognize it next week because I've seen the trailer. It's the family one with the hot Latina bird and the gays and everything. Modern Family. That because they're going to be interviewing Wanda every few minutes. So I know what they're planning. And it was kind of Wanda years this year.
It doesn't get the reference. We should stop everything. It's important that we stop everything because I didn't get the reference.
Do you know what? You've been muting me all right. I'm muting you. Shut up. It bugs me.
I vaguely recognise this week's thing. Next week, I don't know what you're talking about. What is that thing?
They didn't really play on it this week. They really came out of that altogether this week. Yeah, we got like a 1980s Halloween thing because I suddenly realised, hang on, there's kids in this. And then they started talking about where have all the kids come from, Wanda, and all of that. Where were you keeping all the kids, Wanda? So yeah, that was.
He seems awfully aware of what's going on, shall we say?
And the kids have got powers. I think the kids are mutants, but we shall see. Look, it's watchable now. It's interesting now. I think the Sword Chief is a bad guy. He's a bad dude. I genuinely think that. I think he probably ended up killing Monica's mum rather than her just dying. Yeah, I think they're going there. I do think they're going there. Yeah. I think this is a limited series. I don't think we're going to see a sequel to this.
This is the other thing too. Is they had? I think that Sword had Vision's body for the 5 years that everyone was snapped out of existence.
Yeah.
So they've done stuff because they knew about tracking the decay and all that, the bits of the vibranium.
I think,
and I'm hoping.
Yeah, well, how are they tracking? How are they tracking Vision inside in the hex, as we're calling it? How are they tracking it? I think you're right. They've hacked Vision. I think you're right.
No, they've had Vision for the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, but they've hacked him. I think they bugged him. They've bugged him.
Well, no, they said that they were tracking vibranium decay because if vibraniums are standing for adamantium from the Marvel universe, there's 3 types of adamantium, and one of them's like poisonous, and I can't remember how it goes, but it's something along those lines. Anyway, I'm going to swiftly move us on to the very last segment of the show. No, it's not Gorilla Glue, okay? Woman ends up looking like Fiona from Shrek after a major tan mistake. Oh my God, I didn't look at her surname. Lily Vigus, a student from Rochester, has shared her epic...
Oh, there you go.
What was that?
It's Chap Central, isn't it?
Yeah. Has shared her epic fake tan fail after she ended up turning green, and her pals compared her to Fiona from Shrek. Let's just put this on here so you can see the lovely lady in her green visage. I have no idea what happened. Hopefully they'll explain. But yeah, that's what she looks like.
Oh,
she just looks.
She looks like She-Hulk.
Christ.
Jeez, how'd you go green?
I have no idea. The thing is, she's not quite green. Getting a perfect fake tan isn't easy, and you can take a lot of practice. Along the way, there have been a few mishaps. With Lily Vegas, right? The 18-year-old. Our first time. Okay, so all right, so she looks like. Oh my God! She put one tan on and then another tan on. She slathered it on and slept in the product. Oh my God! She slept in it. She tanned herself and she slept in it. Oh my God!
This is nearly as bad as Gorilla Glue Girl.
Gorilla Glue Girl.
Tessica or something.
Tessica. It looks filthy. I'm sorry. Northern birds are filthy.
So, chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo.
Oh my God! It looks like oh my God, that is terrible. Yeah. So we've got that. Are we going to look at Gorilla Glue Girl?
Well, it's been removed now, hasn't it? Some doctor plastic surgeon flew her over. You know, she's made a shit ton of cash out of this from the Just Giving page.
Right.
You know, because if you're going to make that kind of money, I would have put Gorilla Glue in the air.
Right. So that's just to move on to this, because this is the one thing this is the first one that came up. Gorilla Glue says she's given £20,000 she read on GoFundMe to a non-profit run by the doctor who saved her hair. Now, I have no idea how this happened. The worst thing is that in comparison to Shrek Girl from Rochester, her hair looked all right.
Because apparently there is some product called Gorilla something that makes your hair sort of stay in shape. And I think she got Confuciused. But there is another product out there, but, you know, it's vastly different to Gorilla Glue.
Yeah. It's
just...
To be fair to her, it does make your hair stay exactly where you put it.
Oh, that shit wasn't going nowhere.
Oh, no, that's definitely... right. I'd just like to point out that the following: that woman, apparently, I don't know how true this is a teacher.
Oh dear.
Everyone's just shocked. Nigel's face.
Oh dear.
Nigel's face. Apparently, she's a teacher. Yeah,
Teachers are meant to be the best of us.
I'm supposed to have a certain.
Well,
level
no. I mean, those who can't do teach, mate.
I do, but I have to teach people as part of my job, but I'm not a teacher.
Hang on. Is your wife watching?
I think my wife is watching, and she will
And that's why I said what I said.
You ain't coming back around my house, boy. So yeah, this is. I can't. Do you know when you look at something, and that's not the only thing. Is there's the guy who gorilla glued the cup to his lips.
Yes, to prove that it was all bullshit, which it wasn't. Yeah, what a nump.
I just need to let me find that, and we'll kill it off there when we find the gorilla glue solo cup, red solo cups that we have in the films. Prankster news, where is it? Here it is. Let me share this. Right, and this is where we will leave it. Yeah. I thought I could lick it off. Man who super glued solo cup to his face for idiotic gorilla glue challenge ends up in ER after accusing his mum who got adhesive stuck. After accusing mum who got oh bollocks. Long Silver is glued. This dipshit glued a fucking cup to his mouth. Yeah. So just where's the pitch? No, the pitch.
Oh,
there he is.
This guy is so special.
He is special. Keep him away from the windows at the back of the bus. I've just realised something.
I can't see anything.
You can't see shit. Hang on a second. I've just realised I ain't sharing I wasn't sharing the screen. I'm so bad. Let me try again. There we go. Sorry. Let me just transfer it across. So yeah, this
I can see why you got a bit tongue tied because it's on the mail.
Yeah.
And
right, anyway, look.
Journalists wrote something.
I'll be honest with you, they're better journalists than others because they bullet point the bits for you to check before you read the article. I think that might be an editorial thing. But yeah, this is the fine, upstanding gentleman who glued it there thinking he could lick it off after seeing this lady. And then he winds up in the looking like a fucking...
And he's still wearing a mask.
He's trying.
He definitely. That's an excuse for not wearing your mask properly. I was like glued a fucking cup to the top. My top.
He looks like he's been to one of those. He looks like a character out of a kid's school sort of assembly thing, where he's meant to be wearing a nose that some parent. Oh dear, it's brilliant. Seriously, mate, don't wear the cap. It just makes you look extra added special.
Yes. Right. I think his name looks like it's Len Martin. Yeah. I thought that with the gorilla glue was making up the story, but no, it's real. I know. I don't know why I tried it, but I tried. Doesn't matter. There is no hope for it. We're never making it into space. Gents, we are never making it into space. It's the end of humanity.
Well, I mean, watching the recent attempts from SpaceX with that Starship flopping into the ground like that. No, you're right. And Virgin can't even get off the ground.
Do you know what? Virgin's not even going into space. It's going to like low orbit. That doesn't count.
I know.
That's the bit that pisses me off. I want to go from like the UK to Australia in 2 hours. That's what I want. When you say space travel, up whoosh, and off.
But I'll tell you what. Have you seen the pictures from the UAE probe over Mars? It's pretty spectacular, actually.
Really?
Really, yeah. A picture of all 3 of the big volcanoes, including the largest one in our solar system. It's incredible pictures, actually. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting
time for space this week. Keep a lookout because NASA are landing a probe with a drone.
with a drone.
There you go, Chuck. There's a story for next week's thing. There's a freaking Mars probe landing. It's got a drone. Well, it's a helicopter, but it's a drone. It's a kind of drone. It's an unmanned vehicle. It's a drone.
And on that note, I think it's time we all say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And goodbye. And thanks for watching.